Hi, welcome to my channel, Sticking with Steve. Today we're going to be in my favorite books journal. Alright, so we are going to make my first book spread in my favorites book journal. I'm so excited. I've been looking forward to this for quite a while, and I'm finally able to start. But I'm kind of nervous because, as we all are when we get a new project and we're starting out, we don't want to screw it up, but the thing is you just got to go and you just got to do it. I'm starting off this by just putting down a little bit of ink because it's going to be kind of a medieval kind of spread, so I want kind of like that vintage feel to it. So I am just blotching stuff, and I am going to be writing over it, so it's okay. It doesn't have to have... I'm going to be putting stickers and all kinds of stuff, so it doesn't have to be a lot, but I just wanted to give a little bit of a, I don't know, a vintagey kind of feel to it. Like, it's the first book I'm doing in here is a fantasy, which is generally not my genre, but I love this book. I am going to be making a spread based on the book Beauty by Sheri Tepper. I was seeing a guy who really likes Sheri Tepper's novels, and he really likes, well, fantasy was his genre anyway, but he really liked the books by her, and I'd never heard of her before, so I think it was in 2000 or 2001, somewhere in that time period, like the end of 2000, beginning of 2001, that we were hanging out and he introduced me to that book, and I fell in love with that book. And I've only read it once back in that time period, so there's a lot of it I don't remember, but it is a retelling of Sleeping Beauty, and I really loved it. Okay, I am going to let this dry for just a couple minutes. I think it's okay if I started it now, but I just want to make sure, so I will be back in a few. Okay, I'm back. I am going to... Well, I kept going back and forth. Part of me was like, you should reread the book so you get the feel of it, so that you, when you make your page for it, you know what you're doing. But I'm reading a book right now. It would take a while before I got to it, and I was like, you know, do I really need to reread that book to do it? A lot of times, not all the time, but sometimes when, you know, you go back to reread a book, you know, you don't always love it as much as you did the first time. And I'm afraid that might happen, and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to put that in there, and I've already printed this and already made this up. Should I do that or should I do that? I'm kind of thinking that, like that, do kind of a cluster like that. I want to write a little snippet about the book down here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this stuff like that on here, and then I'm going to write the little snippet over here, and then I will decorate around the page. So I think that's how I'm going to do that. Now, when I first started decorating these pages here, this one and then this page, I was talking to, or I had thrown out the idea of starting a book club, like on my YouTube channel, or what do you call it, Instagram or something like that, of reading some of my favorite books and going back over some of the books that I've really loved and really appreciated. And I threw out the idea of that and said, if anybody is interested in doing or being involved in something like that, let me know. And I got 0 response, which is okay. That means it's probably not meant to be. But I'm throwing that out there again. If that's something that you are interested in doing, like, let me know, because I would be interested in... I don't know how I would do... I don't have any of those meetup... I don't pay for any of those meetup things. So I'd have to figure out how to do that where we could all be online and chat together. I guess I just have to pay for the service and do it. Okay. I am gonna cut this because I don't want that taking, oops. Okay, I don't want that going into the wrong thing. You know, I'm just gonna take off a little of this. So this first book that I'm doing is Beauty. I think I mentioned that before, but it is a retelling of the story of Sleeping Beauty, but it also incorporates a few of the other fairy tales get incorporated into that, and I don't know that I put that down exactly straight, but that's okay. I like the way that looks. And I printed the cover on sticker paper, so all I have to do is print it, or not print it. All I have to do is peel it and stick it. I wish I would have done the title and the author in printer paper or sticker paper as well, but I didn't. I did it on regular paper, so I'm gonna have to glue that one, but that's okay. What are we thinking? Like that? Does that look okay? Like that? And putting this up here. Thinking that's what I want to do. And then with the rest of the stickers, I think I'm going to use wax paper and like kind of place them. But I'm going to write the description of about the book first. And I'm actually going to, I'll read you the description. I got it off of the Google chat thing, the AI chat. It told me the synopsis, and I kind of used what they were saying, used most of what they said, but then I kind of like just tweaked a couple words here and there just for my own desire, or because I wanted to. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Okay. So it says, a retelling of the fairy tale Sleeping Beauty, following Beauty as she escapes the curse by traveling through time to different worlds, confronting environmental destruction and social justice issues. So that is kind of like, in a nutshell, the overarching idea of the story. And there's my pen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and write that kind of like in this little area right here, and then I'm gonna come back and decorate around the page. Okay, so I'm back, and then I also wrote at the end, I wrote that it also incorporates some other fairy tales as well, because it does. I know Cinderella for sure, and I'm pretty positive it said, I think it said the Frog Prince as well, but it's been so long. I mean, honestly, it's been so many years since I've watched it, I don't even really remember, but this is kind of how I'm thinking. So she travels to a dystopian society, and there's a menacing guy in there, so I was thinking like he is perfect for that, and he's dressed for the part. It says in there that she uses magic boots to travel to different worlds. And so I am going to, so I have these boots right here because they're really pretty, to be the magic boots. It says, oh, I left that. Okay. I will grab that in a second. So I'm going to use some of these fairy tale Wonderland kind of stickers for her, and the guy that she's in love with. So that's kind of how, that was kind of my feel for it. And then I was also thinking of doing, there's a page of roses in here, and you know, Sleeping Beauty, probably since the Disney version, like roses kind of speak about Sleeping Beauty. So I was thinking about putting some of these roses, maybe just filling in a couple places with some roses to add to the aesthetic. So give me 1 second. I forgot the other sticker I was going to grab. Okay, so she also uses magic thread in there, the description said that, so I found this thing of thread, so I was going to put that on there too to represent that. So the thing that's so funny is I don't remember any of that. All I remember is her traveling. She escaped. I remember her escaping the curse and going to like more modern times, and then like having to work her way back into different times, and that it incorporated several of the fairy tales in there. That's all I really remember about it. So I had to read a description on Wikipedia to try to come up with different things. She finds a letter from her mother about the curse, so I used this for, that is my representation of that. Okay, so I think I want to put him there, but maybe I should put some roses up in the corner. Maybe a little bit of a corner roses, and then I can, and then I'll put him over the top of that. I don't necessarily want to go overboard, but I also want it to look really cool, so I'm okay if it's, oops. I'm okay if it is a little bit overboard, and I am gonna put this under here because I want to make sure I get rid of the, I want to make sure that that is covered. And then what I'll do is I'll just trim off the excess. And because I don't have a corner rounder, I am just going to round it with my scissors myself, and it's not going to look perfect, but that's okay because I'm not perfect, and all I can do is the best I can do, right? So I like that. I think that looks cool, and I'm gonna put him right here to kind of represent the dystopian world and the guy who's a jerk in the dystopian world. It's funny, every time I've lent out a copy of this book to people, I never ever get it back. I finally just bought it on the Kindle. It was on sale, I think, for like $5.99 or something like that, so I bought it. But I haven't read it again because I just haven't read it again. But one of these days, I might. Okay, so then this will represent the letter. I think I want to, or the letter. Yeah, the letter. I think I want to put it up there. That's where I'm leaning towards. Okay. And then we need to put the woman, well, I want to put a picture of her and her love. Maybe that one. Maybe that's a better picture. But I want to do the clear one. Oops. Do, do. Just like that. And then I want to put, there's a couple elements in here, like there's elements in here I want to use, not because it's like, oh, that speaks of that, but like they're medieval, it's fantasy kind of things, and that is kind of, I mean, this is a fantasy novel. Oh, is that not cut out? I don't think those tweezers, or those, I don't think though that's cut out, so I'm gonna have to cut that out to use it. She does work in a stable, according to the story. I think it's funny sometimes with some of these sticker books from China, they'll put elements like this that they do not, or they have, or that aren't cut. Like they're just there for decoration, but it's like, I want to use it. So why wouldn't you? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems silly to me that they wouldn't put or they wouldn't cut it. I don't know. Maybe I'm being silly, but that's just how I feel about it. Should I use this one of her to represent her? Like right here. I wish she was facing that way. Maybe I can find one, an equally good one of her facing that way. I think this is like, as you can see, I think with the long hair, I think it's Rapunzel, but I'm redoing it for my own thing. I guess I could use her and put her right there. Her hair's too long in that one. We're not doing Rapunzel. I could do that one, but I really like this one. But I have these ones. I wonder if I could pick this up and move it over here and move the horse up and then put her there. Okay, let's see if this works. And this is why I was going to use the wax paper and then didn't, but that's okay. Actually, I can move this sticker. Is that also? Oh no, it's a sticker, okay. I'll put that just right here, just for fun. Okay, so we have that. Let's do this picture of her. Okay, I think I want to do that. Okay, sorry about that. My, what do you call it? My alarm went off and shut off the video, but I think this might have been down too low. If this was down too low, I apologize. I'm really trying to keep a better eye on that, and unfortunately, I'm not always perfect at it. Not sure how I want to do that quite yet, so I'm going to put those there for the moment, because I could put them here. which would be okay. But then what am I going to fill here? I think some roses down in here, first of all, needs to happen. Can I just tell you that I'm loving this page right now? I just think it's so pretty. It's so fun. It makes me want to read this book all over again, even though it's been a really long time since I've read it. And there's more fantasy elements than the sci-fi elements that are a part of this book because I have more fantasy elements, even though... Oh yeah, I want to use that string. I have more fantasy elements. It's funny, fantasy is not one of my favorite genres. I don't read a ton of it. I like a handful of books. And the ones that I like, I really, really like. And I will be making pages for those because they're some of my favorites. But in general, fantasy is not, in general, one of my favorite genres. I'm wondering, I feel like I should do, I didn't even notice it when I first saw it, but I've got this ball of yarn here, or ball of thread. I feel like that's better than this. This is more modern and this is more of the ancient time period. So I feel like this, and it would go great right there. And where did I put the boots? I put the boots over there. Okay, so I still need the boots to go on here. I'm just not sure how to fill in this space. Not that it has to have tons and tons and tons of things, but you know, I want it to be like a collage of different elements. We've got the butterfly. Where is the... We've got the birds. It's funny. The butterfly is not cut, but it soon will be. So if you decide you want to read this book and you read it, let me know what you think. Eventually I'm going to get back to reading, or eventually I'm going to get back to revisiting it, but I have not done so at the moment. I was going to put the butterfly up here, but I think I'm going to put it by the flowers because butterflies tend to be by flowers. Let's see if there's anything else that just jumps out like, oh, you got to use that. I could use this, like the one that's right here, just to add a little bit of flourish. Okay. I feel like I want to use like a dark entity like that for the person that put the curse on her, but I don't really know. Like, I want to use that mirror. This is really fun. I got this idea from Ashley's Books and Journals. Book Journals, I think is what her new name is. It used to be Ashley the Book is Better, but she changed it, and I believe it is Ashley's Books and Journals. I'll link I'll put her name down below. I think I'm gonna I don't have to fill every space. I just want to make sure I add some elements to fill up the space. And I think I want to put the boots down now, because otherwise they're gonna get missed. So I think I'll just do just like that. I want to put that. I keep picking the elements that don't have, or that aren't an actual sticker. So I'm gonna have to cut that out. Why? And it says fairy tales here. Why does it not have, or why is it not cut out? Why is it just on there? It's just so funny to me sometimes. Some of these stickers are so interesting in how they do that. You know, I didn't really think about it or notice it right away until just now. So that's a little too close. I need to find something to go there. But she has roses in her hair, and I used roses, and I didn't even notice that when I chose her. You probably saw that right away, but it did not even dawn on me. I just thought that was a good picture to put on here. Okay, so just a couple more elements to try to fill up a little more. I mean, I could just leave it the way it is. It doesn't really need anything. I could even move this down here. But why not? Since we have the space, why not throw in a couple more elements, you know? Why? This is a big butterfly. Why is it not cut out? I guess I could have put these trees and stuff like that kind of in the background, but I don't need to. There's really no reason to. Well, I hope that you're enjoying this and enjoying the process. I'm loving this so much. That's a little too big to do that, but I could put it there. And then I just need one little something to go there, and then I'll be done. Wherever Nikki is in the world, he would be proud of me for making a page for beauty. Because he introduced me to the book. Maybe some white birds, but those seem a little big. They might fit, but maybe that. Actually, let's do that. I feel it needs to move over just a tad. Just like that. And maybe it needs to come over here. Okay, I think that's good. I think I'm gonna call it. So Beauty by Sheri S. Tepper. If you read it, please let me know. If you have read it, please let me know. I would love to know what you think of this. I absolutely love it. I think it turned out really beautiful. I love the elements and it just looks really cool. It makes me want to go back and reread that book. So hopefully soon, someday soon, I'm going to do that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you liked it. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing to my videos so you don't miss my channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. And I will see you next time. Bye.